Hi you guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Patience. To my existing subscribers, welcome back. If this is your first time here, be sure to click that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can continue to indulge in the Hot Bella experience. In today's video, I'm going to be doing quite a few things. One of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to be trying out the Stay Naked foundation from Urban Decay. One of my subscribers left a comment on one of my videos and asked if I had checked out the Stay Naked foundation from Urban Decay, and if I hadn't, if I had any plans on doing so. So I had not purchased any new foundations here lately, you guys, because I have so many foundations already that are sitting in my collection that I have not quite used up. So I wanted to try to use those up before I actually purchased more foundations, but I was itching because I have had my eye on this naked formula of foundation from Urban Decay. So all it took was for someone to say, hey, have you tried this out? Are you going to try it out? And I was on my way to Sephora to do what I can to get the message out to my subscribers about this foundation. Or at least that's my story and I'm sticking to it. So I went to Sephora on the search for my perfect shade match in the Stay Naked foundation. And I ended up with two potential shade matches in the Stay Naked foundation from Urban Decay. And that is the 61NN, that's a neutral shade, and also the 70NN. So you guys will see as I'm testing these two shades of foundation out in the demo portion of this video, you guys will see me trying to match myself up with these two foundations. So this foundation is the Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Foundation. This foundation comes in 50 shades, and this foundation can be purchased at Sephora for $39. This foundation is vegan, it's buildable, and it's in a medium coverage, and it's a liquid foundation with a real skin matte finish that lasts up to 24 hours. This is a matte finish, as I mentioned, and this is also a formulation of liquid. This is not a creamy type of foundation. It is going to be a little bit more on the liquidy side, and this is for normal, dry, and combination and oily skin types. And on the Sephora website, it mentions a few other things that you may want to know about this particular foundation. As I mentioned before, it is available in 50 shades, and it is designed with 9 shade intensities, 3 master tones, and 7 undertones. This waterproof, long-wearing foundation feels like a second skin thanks to the breathable formula. I can agree with that. This foundation feels really, really light on my skin. I love the coverage of this foundation. It feels better and looks better with Stay True color, which minimizes the appearance of pores. I think this foundation has worked wonderfully with my skin. I have been putting in some work in regards to skincare, but this foundation, it is really making my skin look extremely healthy. And again, I like the way this feels on my skin. It does not feel heavy at all. And since I was going to be trying out a complexion product, I felt the need to go ahead and just go all the way. If you're going to do it, do it. So I wanted to put together a complete look using this foundation. So I was going through my eyeshadow palette collection to figure out which palette I would use for this look today, and I came across a palette that unfortunately was canceled some time ago. And this was a very controversial palette. Some people loved it, some people hated it. There were some people who loved the palette, but they didn't necessarily like the brand. So there was a mixture of different feelings surrounding this particular palette. Me personally, I love this palette, and I was so disappointed when it was canceled. And that palette is the Nudie Patootie palette from Laura Lee, Los Angeles. Guys, don't look at me crazy. Don't think that I'm crazy. This was a good palette. I don't know what happened. I think that maybe it was just because of some of the drama or whatever that was going on at the time, where the popularity or the hype surrounding this palette just plummeted. It just took a deep dive and it never resurfaced. But this is a gorgeous palette. I have created some other looks using this palette, and I will continue to create some really gorgeous looks using this palette. This was the first palette that I had seen that had these specialty shades in it, where it's more than a shimmer. It's more of that hybrid glitter slash shimmer type of formula. This was the first time that I had ever seen that, and that was in the Laura Lee Los Angeles Nudie Patootie palette. So this is a beautiful, beautiful palette. I created this eye look using this eyeshadow palette today. I have also created another look using this palette, so I'll be sure to link that in the iCard above if you guys want to check that out. That's from a couple of years back, but still the look was absolutely gorgeous. But I'm sad that this palette is no longer really popular. But if you have this palette in your collection, use it. You're going to be able to create some gorgeous looks. And if you're interested in purchasing this palette, you can probably find it still online. Maybe check on eBay or Poshmark. I'm not even sure if Poshmark is still up and running, but I'm sure you can find it online. But I used this palette in this look today as well. Even though I did not purchase the full size of the Stay Naked Weightless Foundation from Urban Decay, I did go ahead and pick up the full size of their concealer. And I really like this concealer. I like the coverage, and I also like the color. I picked up this concealer in the color 70WO. It's not giving me that extreme brightened type of look in my under eye area, and that's okay because there are some instances when I don't want to be brightened too much in this under eye area, but I really like the formula of this Naked concealer. This concealer comes in 25 shades, and as I said, I picked up the shade 70WO. You can pick this concealer up from Sephora for $29. And on the Sephora website, some of the things that they have to say about this concealer is they say that it is an ultra pigmented lightweight concealer that covers hyperpigmentation and imperfections with a real skin-like matte finish and lasts up to 24 hours. The coverage is full and the finish is matte. And the formula is liquid, and this is recommended for normal, dry, combination, and oily skin types. This product is vegan and cruelty-free. And some additional things that Sephora thinks that you may want to know about this concealer. It says that it comes in 25 vegan shades, and this concealer features 9 shade intensities, 3 master tones, 5 undertones, and enough coverage to last all day. Use this flexible second skin concealer for just about anything, from covering an imperfection to highlighting a cheekbone. The patented wave tip applicator makes it easy to get to the right level of coverage. Use the flat side for precise light application, or lean into the curve for a heavier dose of product. I really like this concealer. I do believe that it is full coverage. It did a good job of covering up some of the darker circles that I have under my eyes. So I really like this concealer, and I am so glad that I have this. And again, you can pick this up at Sephora for $29. So we're about to get into the demo portion of this video. And in this portion of the video, I am mainly focusing on my complexion. But if you guys want me to do another video showing you guys how I created this look using the Laura Lee Nudie Patootie palette, let me know in the comments below, because again, I do think you guys, this is a palette that definitely deserves a second chance. I'm hoping that Laura Lee will find a way to bring this back, because I love this palette, and I think that some of my subscribers or some of my viewers would feel the same way if they had the opportunity to get their hands on it and to use it. But if you guys want to see how I put it all together, then keep watching. My face has been prepped with the Touch in Sol Pretty Filter Glass Skin Balm. This was the item that came in my February BoxyCharm box. So my face is prepped and ready to go. My eyes have been prepped with my P. Louise eyeshadow base. And I'm going to go ahead and get these eyes done in YouTube time. So are you ready? Let's go. So my eyes are done. And I think that this look turned out really pretty. Now we're going to move on to the complexion. So I haven't done any color correcting around my mouth area or under my eye as I usually do, because I need to figure out which shade of this Stay Naked foundation is going to work best for me. So I picked up 2 shades, and I've got samples of these, and the first one that I have here, this is in the shade 61NN. This is a neutral shade. I also have this shade as well, and this is in 70NN. This is also a neutral shade. So I'm going to try both of these shades out to see which one is going to work out best for me. I don't want to mix them. I don't necessarily like purchasing a foundation that's going to require that I purchase 2 different colors to get my perfect shade match. I want to get it all in one. So let's see which of these shades are going to look best for me. I think I'm going to start off with the 61NN first. That's the lighter of these 2 shades. So I hope you can see this. This is the 61NN. And this is the 70NN. So I hope you guys can see that. This is the 60NN. This is the 70NN. And I think I'm going to go with the 70NN, which is the darker shade. This lighter one, I think once this dries down and once I get it all over, that it may start to look a little bit ashy on me because I think it's a little bit too light. So I'm going to go ahead and go with the 70NN here. And I'm going to start off, I got about this much on the pan, and as you can see, this is quite runny. As you can see, this is how much I have on my mixing palette here. And I'm going to use one of my foundation brushes from Real Techniques to apply this foundation. So I've already done my color correcting. I used my Kevin Aquan, as I mentioned before. This is my staple product I use for color correcting around my mouth. And I also use my Tatcha Pearl under my eye. That too is a staple product for color correcting. Yeah, I think the 70NN is definitely a better shade for my particular skin tone and undertone. I think the 60NN would just be a little bit too light. So this is looking pretty good. And as usual, once I'm done applying my foundation using my brush, I follow up with a sponge just to gently tap over my foundation application to make sure everything is nice and even, and to pick up any excess product that may just be sitting there on the skin. I want this to be married into my skin or laying softly against my skin with no gaps, no uneven spots or spaces. I want it to look like my skin. This is really pretty. And now I'm going to use the Stay Naked Concealer. This is in the shade 70WO. This has a really unique and interesting doe foot. Looks like it has like a little curve in it, which is a little different. But yeah, I'm going to use this product and I'm going to apply this to all the areas that you would normally want to conceal and highlight. That's under the eyes, down the bridge of the nose, around the mouth. Anywhere that you want to conceal and highlight is where I'm going to place this product. And I'm using my Sigma F60 brush to blend this concealer in. So this shade is pretty close to my skin tone. It's not making me too light in my under eye area, and that's okay. I don't necessarily want to always be super bright under my eye area, so this is nice. This is really nice. And I'm going to use my Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder to set all the areas where I have applied the concealer. And before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and spritz my under eye area with the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. I want to do this just to make sure that my under eye does not get too dry. And I'm going to use my handy dandy fan just to help me dry this down. Before I go to the next step, which is going to be adding my cream contour. And as usual, for my cream contour, I'm going to be using the Clay Foundation Stick from Tarte. This is in the shade Rich Honey. This is another staple product that I use on a regular basis almost every time that I do my makeup. Unless I'm trying out something else, of course, but just on the regular, this works out just fine. And I think I want my contour to be just carved out or sharpened up just a little bit. So I am going to go into my Fenty Pro Filter setting powder. This is in the shade Banana. And I'm just going to take a sponge and I'm just going to carve this out just a little bit more. And I'm doing this now before I actually apply my overall setting powder all over my face. I'm not taking a lot on this sponge, just a little bit. Just to sharpen that up just a little bit, like that. And I'm not going to let it set very long. And then I'm just going to take my brush and just kind of dust it away very lightly. So it's not too harsh, but just to give it a little bit more definition. And now I'm going to powder my entire face, and I'm going to use another powder from Fenty Beauty, and this is their Pro Filter Setting Powder in the shade Honey. And now I'm going to move on to blush, and I am going to use a blush palette that I have not used in quite some time, and that is the Spice Market blush palette from Sephora. I purchased this blush palette a little while ago, but it's really pretty, so yeah, I need to put this to use. And I'm going to use this shade right here as my blush shade. And for my highlight, I am going to use this shade right here. And I'm also going to use my favorite highlighting brush. And this is a brush that came in one of my BoxyCharm boxes. You guys have heard me talk about this brush before. I love the way this brush applies highlighter. It applies it so soft, very, very lightly. I love it. It reminds me of the way my airbrush gun applies highlight. It just goes on so soft. It is time for lips, and I'm going to use this lip pencil from ColourPop. It's in the shade BFF2, and as usual, I'm going to line and fill in my lips. And I'm going to use this lip gloss from Tarte. This is from the Tarteist collection. This smells really good. It reminds me of white chocolate. And this look is done. This look turned out absolutely beautiful. The foundation from Urban Decay, the Stay Naked Weightless Foundation, is a beautiful foundation. I love the coverage. I love the way it feels on my skin. It's gorgeous. It looks good. It feels good. The Laura Lee Los Angeles Nudie Patootie palette has been canceled by the makeup community, but I'm hoping that we'll find a way to bring this palette back because this palette is gorgeous. The Nudie Patootie palette is a good palette, and I'm hoping that there is a chance that this palette will come back, so that way we'll have a chance to get some use out of it and to create some more beautiful and stunning looks using this palette. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys on my next video. Bye-bye.